Good morning and welcome to the webinar on 5 key strategies to reduce shipping expenses. I'm Sienna Rajinski, Membership and Member Services Director for the South Dakota Retailers Association. Today's program will feature a presentation by Harry Centa Jr. of PartnerShip. Harry currently serves as the Senior Program Manager for PartnerShip LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary of NACS. He started with PartnerShip in 2005 and is responsible for the program management for over 80 associations, including our SDRA shipping program. Harry oversees the planning, coordinating, and execution of strategic sales and marketing plans, program monitoring, and growing member participation. Harry received a BS in Sports Science from Ohio University and a Master's of Education in Sports Management from East Stroudsburg University. He also completed TIA's Marketing Transportation Brokerage curriculum in 2008 and received a Management Development Certificate from Baldwin Wallace College in 2010. Prior to PartnerShip, Harry worked in professional sports in various sales, marketing, and management positions. I want to give you a few notes before we start the presentation. All of your phones are muted, and so we won't be hearing any background noises. We will also have a question and answer period at the conclusion of the presentation. If you'd like to ask a question at any time, just go to the panel on the side of your screen where it says type message here, type your question, and click on send. At the conclusion of the presentation, we'll read the questions out loud and Harry will provide the answers. Finally, this webinar will be recorded and will be available on SDRA's YouTube page by tomorrow. So we'll turn the presentation over to Harry. Thank you.
Sienna, thank you very much, and appreciate everyone joining us today. Without further ado, we'll get started, and we're going to talk about 5 key strategies to help reduce shipping costs. Our agenda for today, first we're going to talk a little bit about PartnerShip, get you familiar with who we are. We'll talk about the 2019 rate increases. Next, we'll get into the 5 key strategies, and last but not least, we'll share some information on the SDRA shipping program and the preferred carriers that PartnerShip works with. Okay, PartnerShip quick facts. PartnerShip was actually founded in 1989 by NACS, the National Association of College Stores. And the unique selling proposition that gives us, we understand that members are faced with all kinds of business expenses each and every day, month, year, and it's important to control those costs. We were started as a member benefit service to help them reduce their shipping costs. And fast forward to today, we work with more than 150 association programs. That equates to about 30,000 businesses. And on a side note here, the SDRA members actually saved an average of over $370 per location last year alone, totaling over $38,000 in combined savings. So at the end of the day, if you look at the savings you receive from the program, it should definitely be helping to offset a portion, if not all, of your annual membership dues. Okay, before we get into the 5 key strategies, I wanted to share some information on the 2019 rate increases. Even though we're over halfway through the year, this is still important because it's an annual occurrence. Come late November, December, UPS and FedEx are both going to make rate increases for 2020 again, and you could probably count on them being comparable to what they did in 2019. And you could see FedEx Express and Ground 4.9%, UPS Air and Ground 4.9%. The key thing to note here, ahead of the 2019 rate increases, UPS actually added peak surcharges on residential packages during the busiest shipping days of the year, November 18th to December 1st and the 16th to the 22nd. And that cost was approximately 28 cents to 99 cents additional per package. FedEx actually did not have any peak surcharges, and we're anticipating that they're not going to have them this year either. If you want to learn more, you can download that at partnership.com/rate increase. And as 2020 draws closer, we'll definitely be in touch with SDRA to provide information on the 2020 rate increases so you can budget accordingly. All right, so before we get into the 5 key strategies, quick question. Why are we here today? And also ask yourself, are you overpaying on shipping? Two important questions, because shipping rates continue to go up and are increasingly becoming a higher percentage of business expenses. What you can do is compare shipping costs to your annual sales, and actually about 1 to 4% is typical. If that's higher than 4%, you should definitely take a closer look at your shipping and do whatever you can to help lower those costs. And now we're going to share the 5 key strategies and the solutions that we have to offer to you to lower your shipping expenses. Key strategy number 1, obtain discounts with carriers. The simplest way to do that, you can enroll and participate in the SDRA shipping program. It's free to sign up. There's no shipping minimums, requirements, or obligations. We feature the most competitive shipping discounts in the industry. And the goal for you should always be to get the best service at the lowest possible cost. Some businesses have a higher shipping volume, and that may afford them the opportunity to negotiate directly with carriers. But for a lot of the small businesses out there, the SDRA program is a perfect way to go, and we give you plenty of options for LTL and full truckload freight as well. Key strategy number 2. And this is a real important one for all the retailers out there. Developing an inbound shipping management program. Why is this important? It's important because as a retailer, you have the right to designate how your orders are shipped to you. When you allow the vendor to ship to you, that is vendor prepaid shipping. And unfortunately with that, you're at the vendor's mercy. A lot of them will go off the base shipping charge and actually mark it up 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50%, and use that as an extra profit center. Shipping collect is when you advise that vendor to ship using your account number. That way, the shipping charges no longer show up on your product invoice, and you're billed directly by the carrier at your discounted rate. And the advantage is very simple. The savings that you're going to realize by implementing this program, they're going to go right to your bottom line. So that's developing an inbound shipping management program. Now, to help demonstrate this, we provided a couple examples here. The first one here, vendor prepaid versus inbound collect. We have a small package savings example. And you can see here, inbound collect with your SDRA discounts, you're looking at about $19.28. Vendor prepaid, at a minimum, you're looking at about $23. So at the end of the day, by shipping inbound collect, billing to your FedEx account number, you're going to save about 16% or $3.70 on one package. Now that may not seem like a lot, but think about how many individual packages you receive on an average week, month, and then at the end of the year. And all of a sudden that $3.70 per package is going to skyrocket up, and it could be hundreds of dollars in savings that you'll realize. So continuing along here with developing an inbound shipping management program, now we have an LTL Freight savings example. LTL stands for less than truckload freight. Typically, it's boxes that are stacked up on a pallet or skid, and they weigh at least 150 pounds or more. This example here is 300 pounds, class 150, and inbound collect, as you can see, $257.33. Vendor prepaid is going to be over $1,000. The key thing to keep in mind here, that $1,000, that's based upon the carrier's base shipping charge that they show on their website. So with the SDRA program, your LTL freight savings is going to be at least a minimum of 75% or over $771 on a single shipment. Now, I know a lot of retailers don't get a lot of freight shipments, but at the end of the day, if you do get 2, 3, 4 a year, the savings that you can realize on these shipments can add up quickly. So that is our LTL freight savings example. Next, we're going to move on to key strategy number 3, which is using the correct mode and service level. Very simple. The mode of transportation is how the shipment is moved from the origin to the destination, and that can be via ground, air, rail, boat, etc. Next, there's a level of service. That can be the same day, it can be the next day, it can be 2 days, typically on up to about 4 or 5, depending upon the origin and destination of the shipment. Now you're going to ask, using the correct mode and service level, why is this important? And we have a great example right here. You should always check your shipping zones to confirm the transit time is the same for both service levels before you set up the shipment. Here we have a 35-pound package. Shipping at ground, FedEx ground, it's a 2-day transit time. The total was $19.28. Sending that same package, 2-day air service, is going to be $64.99. So this example here, you're going to save 70% or over $45 just by shipping ground. And again, I want to note, always make sure you check your shipping zones to confirm that the transit time is same for the same service levels. But if you need to get something there overnight, you may have to pay a little bit more and use the express service, but always make sure you check those transit times. And by doing that, this can help save you some money. So that's key strategy number 3. Number 4, consolidating orders. Another great method to help control your shipping costs, especially if you're receiving stuff from a vendor or you're sending stuff out to a customer. And we have a couple examples here. The first one being LTL Freight, sending 3 separate shipments, 300 pounds each. That total is going to be $771.99. Sending one shipment at 900 pounds with 75% discount is a little over $550. So in this example here, by consolidating, you're going to save 39% or over $200. So another great strategy to implement and to help lower your overall shipping costs, consolidating orders. Next, we have a small package savings example. And this one here, we have 2 packages at 15 pounds each, or putting those together into one 30-pound package. And it's clear to see there's savings available for consolidating small packages as well. In this example, 32% or almost $5 by consolidating. And again, at the end of the day, you know, this may not seem like a lot, but think of how many times you can consolidate something over the course of the month and year, and that savings is going to add up in a hurry. All right, now we're up to key strategy number 5. And this one's pretty simple. Saving on outbound shipments, making sure that you're using the correct mode and service level through the small package program with SDRA. We're exclusively aligned with FedEx, and you have access to their ground, home delivery, and express service. Key thing to note here is that FedEx ground and UPS ground operate off of almost identical base published shipping rates. So if you're using UPS ground right now and you do not have any discounts in place, I can guarantee you will receive savings through the SDRA program by using FedEx. In addition to small package, we also have LTL Freight Services. We work with a number of reputable national and regional carriers. And last but not least, we call it the triple threat, the small package, LTL, and full truckload freight services. Many options available as well, dry van, flatbed, reefer, and through our load boards and software systems, we have access to thousands of different carriers so we can help get you the best rate on that truckload shipment. Now, going along with saving on outbound shipments, something that many of you may or may not be familiar with is dimensional weight pricing. And it's very important to understand this because both carriers, FedEx and UPS, adopted this system for all ground shipments several years back, and it has actually significantly increased shipping costs for almost any business out there. Basically, they take the length times the width times the height and then divide it by a dim factor, which is 139, and that's going to give you the dimensional weight of the package. The greater the dimensional weight and the actual weight will be the billable weight. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, that is going to be the dimensional weight, and you will end up paying more, which is unfortunate. Some takeaways from this: we have a tool at partnership.com/STIM calculator if you need help calculating your billable weight. And always review your shipment packaging for outbound and also even inbound stuff coming from your vendors by reducing the least amount of space as possible in those boxes. You eliminate that extra space, and it's going to help lower the cost of the shipment. So here we have an example of how dimensional weight affects the cost of shipping a package. The actual weight of this package, 26 pounds. When you calculate the dimensional weight, 29 by 20 by 16, divided by that dim factor, you're looking at 66 pounds. So obviously 66 is greater than 26, and you end up paying about $10.87 more just on a single package. So again, review your sizing of your boxes for outbound shipments, and if you find that there's a lot of empty space in their boxes, I would definitely get on their case because that's going to help lower the cost of that shipment. All right, now that we've talked about the 5 key strategies, we'll hope you'll implement them all. Getting shipping discounts, looking at implementing an inbound shipping management program, using the correct mode and service level, consolidating orders, and last but not least, saving on outbound shipments as well. Implement one, implement them all, and it's definitely going to help your shipping costs go down, and your bottom line will improve. All right, now that we've covered the 5 key strategies, wanted to go over the details of the SDRA shipping program. Again, this is a free affinity program available through your membership, and it features shipping discounts for small package, LTL, and truckload freight, free value-added support services that we have available from Partnership. The help that you need to implement an inbound shipping management program, we can actually put together a custom routing instructions letter that'll have your FedEx account number on there and also other freight shipping information that you can share with your vendors to help implement that inbound savings. Again, competitive LTL, truckload, and trade show rates, very friendly and knowledgeable customer service professionals. We also offer up free invoice auditing, rate comparisons, and shipping analyses. If you're currently using one of the carriers that we offer up through the program and you're not sure if you should sign up, if you share a couple invoices, we'll do a free confidential analysis and be completely candid. If you're getting better rates on your own, we'll let you know. If you can save more through the program, we'll definitely work with you to get you on board. So last but not least, how do you participate in the program? It's very simple and hassle-free to do. You just have to visit partnership.com/68SDRA. And that's a special website that we have set up specifically for the SDRA shipping program. You'll see a click an Enroll Now button that you click on, and there's a form for you to fill out and submit to Partnership. If you already have a FedEx account number, key thing to note, make sure you include that on the enrollment form, because we'll contact FedEx, we'll compare the SDRA discounts to any discounts you may have in place, and your account will be linked up to the better of the two. If you need a FedEx account number, we'll get one set up for you. Typically, it takes about 5 to 10 business days, and in that process, you will need to put a credit card on file to activate the account and build credit and cover the first 3 months of shipping on a probationary basis. As you ship, it'll be automatically billed to your credit card. So that's the SDRA shipping program in a nutshell. And last but not least here, I'd like to share the program discounts that we have in place. And you could see with FedEx Express, you'll save up to 29%. FedEx Ground, you'll save anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending upon the weight of the package. And last but not least, FedEx Home Delivery, that's for business or residential shipments. You'll save anywhere from 5 to 10%. All right, and in addition to FedEx, as I mentioned, we do work with a number of LTL carriers. To name a few, UPS Freight, YRC Freight, Estes, Old Dominion, ArcBest, RNL, XPO. On the full truckload end, we work with thousands of different carriers, depending upon your origin and destination of your shipment, when it needs to ship, what you're shipping, and that'll give us the power to shop rates and get you the best deal for those. All right, so that concludes our webinar today, and I want to thank everyone very much for your time, and I hope that you can definitely implement one or all of those strategies to help lower your shipping costs. And at this point, I'll turn it back to Sienna, and if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Harry. I do have a couple questions here. First one, should a shipment be insured, and who's responsible for obtaining freight insurance, the shipper or the retailer placing the order?
Sienna, that's a very good question, and I'm actually going to break this down into two options. The first is small package. The second is freight, like a LTL pallet or skidded shipment. On the small package end, both FedEx and UPS offer up a form of coverage called declared value coverage. And that is actually based upon dollar amount per the estimated value of what's being shipped. The key thing to note is that declared value coverage is not a true form of insurance. So you always want to make sure that you're packaging your shipments up correctly, whether you're shipping it out or the vendor is shipping to you. Whoever pays for the shipment at the end of the day will be they will be required to opt in to receiving and selecting and opting for that declared value coverage. On the freight end, PartnerShip's actually a broker, and there's minimum coverage for every shipment that's sent. However, we do offer up a true form of freight insurance. So if anything happens while it's in transit, it's lost, it's stolen, it's damaged, it'll be covered 100%. So depending on what you're shipping, you know, if it's a pallet full of bricks, you probably don't want to insure that. But if it's a pallet full of tennis shoes or, you know, music equipment, you probably want to make sure you have that covered just in case anything should happen. So I hope that helps explain.
Okay. Here's another question. Freight class impacts the price. What determines the class of freight?
The class of freight is actually, it depends upon the density of what's being shipped. And again, similar to dimensional weight, we're looking at another formula where they calculate the density of what's being shipped. And then there's actually a classification system called the National Motor Freight Classification. And through that, based upon a description of what you're shipping and the density, the weight, that is going to allow you to determine what the class is of what's being shipped. And obviously, the lower the class is, the cheaper it is to ship. The higher the class, the more expensive it will be to ship.
Okay. And then for quotes, can I, as a retailer, if I'm signed up for the program, get quotes on a shipment that I'm going to either be sent or send out? How do I do that?
Oh, yes, definitely. The best thing about the program on the freight end, we offer up free shipping quotes. No obligation to ship with us. If you have a preferred carrier, one of the carriers we work with, typically we'll give you 3 options so you can see kind of how they compare. FedEx and UPS small pack have very similar base shipping rates. However, the freight guys play the game completely different. So, yes, you can get quotes. You can contact us, 800-599-2902, or you can go right to the partnership website, partnership.com, or email us, sales@partnership.com, with the details on your shipment, and one of our customer service team members will work on that quote and get that back to you as soon as possible.
Okay. And one last question. When shippers set the rates, is that for the entire year, or do they change rates at various times of the year due to increased use, such as like shipping for during Christmas or Valentine's Day?
That's an excellent question. And again, allow me to break that down between small package, LTL, and truckload freight, because there's basically 3 answers. Small package, FedEx and UPS usually announce their rate increases towards the end of the year, and they'll go into effect with January 1st of each year. On a monthly basis, you may see your fuel surcharge fluctuate. And basically what the carriers do, they look at the going rate of diesel fuel, they look at that cost for the company, and they will adjust their fuel surcharge accordingly. So when diesel's more expensive, your fuel surcharge will be more. When diesel costs are low, you definitely see a lower fuel surcharge there. Next is LTL Freight Shipping. And for LTL Freight Shipping, typically the carriers will take 1 general rate increase a year, sometimes 2. Typically, it's in the spring, around March or April, before the busy shipping season, of course, comes up for the summer months, and then also sometimes in the fall. And that's obviously to peg anyone for their holiday shipping. So LTL freight, typically you'll see 1 to 2 rate increases a year. And the same thing applies with their fuel surcharge. That'll go up and down month over month, depending upon the going rate of diesel. Last but not least is truckload shipping. Truckload shipping is really unique because unlike a rate, set rate based on the weight, the class, the origin, the destination, truckload rate quotes are spot quotes. And it is based upon that exact day and time. The origin of the shipment, the destination of the shipment, availability of trucks and drivers, and that is also a direct reflection on the capacity. Is there a lot of capacity out there? Is there not a lot of capacity out there? So all those factors will go into the rate of what's being shipped. So basically, you could take a full truckload of 12 pallets and skids, quote it today, and then 6 months later, run that same quote, and it could be a lot more, it could be a lot less. It just depends upon the many things that factor into that cost in the truckload shipping industry. Capacity, the cost of diesel, and again, the origin and destination and truck availability are the key factors that are going to play into that. So I apologize for the lengthy explanation, but definitely all 3 different types of service deserve to know the difference and how they play the game. So
wonderful. Thank you, Harry. I think that's it for now. So I'd like to mention again that if you have any additional questions, you can certainly contact our office at 1-800-658-5545. You can visit our website at www.sdra.org if you want to learn about any upcoming webinars that we have. And again, I want to thank everybody for their participation in today's program. Thank you.